Hey everybody, so here we have this Dell Inspiron 15 3000 laptop in. It's my neighbor's relative's laptop. He literally had just got the thing. Suppose it was given to him, which what you're about to hear, it'll make sense. This is supposedly a very cheap-end laptop. It has a Core i5. It does have 8 gigs of memory. It has a 256 gigabyte solid-state drive, M.2 drive, along with expansion available for a 2.5 inch SATA drive, but it has Windows 11 with S mode. Yeah, just the idea of S mode will give you a headache. So the funny thing about this thing is, when I got it, or at least when I went over there to my neighbor's house, his brother was trying to set this thing up, and it was at the point where it wants you to connect to Wi-Fi to complete setup, and that's one of the things I can't stand about Windows 11, is it wants you to connect to internet. Well, what if you don't have internet? Well, they did have internet, so I helped them with the process of connecting to the internet. And that was after I tried doing Shift F10 to get the command prompt to do the OOB bypass NRO command, because it actually did have Windows 11 21H2 installed on it at the time. But I noticed when I was pressing Shift and F10, nothing was happening. This is before I knew it had Windows 11 S. So I knew something went right. So we proceeded to go through the setup, got to the desktop. The first thing I did is I pulled up Edge, and I went to download Google Chrome. Chrome said, in order to install Chrome, you need to first switch out of S mode. I'm like, oh, great. So I'll look in the settings in the About, and as you may be able to see, it has Windows 11 Home in S mode. Okay, so the official way that Microsoft wants you to get out of S mode is to use a Microsoft account. See, that's just it. They want you to create a Microsoft account just to get out of it. We happen to set this thing up with a local account by giving it false information, or it's giving it bogus information for the email and password for a Microsoft account. And once we did that, it said, "Oops, there was a problem," and it's click next and provide a local start a local account. But so Windows 11 S and Windows 10 S, or Windows 11 Home in S mode and Windows 10 Home in S mode, in case you didn't know, it's basically the same as what was formerly known as Windows 10 S. It's a stripped down, locked down version of Windows 10 or Windows 11 Home, where you can only run trusted apps from the Microsoft Store. So basically, it's like Microsoft's version of a Chromebook, except I think a Chromebook has less restrictions on it. So for example, if I try to run a command prompt, it will tell you, for security and performance, this mode Windows only runs Microsoft verified apps. And if we want to get out of S mode, of course, it's going to want you to, well, of course, I'm on the internet, so you hop on the internet real quick. Okay. So, for example, apparently this took us to the store homepage. But anyways, we'll go back to settings. And, of course, go to About. Again, Windows 11 Home in S mode. We just need 3 more letters to complete S there. Yeah, Windows 11 Home in IT mode. Really, that's a good way to describe it. I mean, you can't do any sort of things except for using Microsoft Edge and Windows Store apps. That's pretty much it. So you can see how the store is installing even drivers, for example. So, for example, go to product key and activation. You can see here, activation state is active. in S mode. Upgrades aren't available in S mode. To upgrade, exit S mode. And the thing is, when you're in S mode, you can't even change your product key. As you can see, that option is disabled. Now, here's the funny thing about this. So, there are some workarounds, supposed workarounds, to get out of S mode without a Microsoft account, but I think Microsoft has gracefully closed all those loopholes. Even a very popular video that was uploaded, I think in January of this year, 2023, with workarounds using the Windows recovery to get Regedit up, that no longer seems to work, and we'll cover that in a moment. So I should note that I have actually reinstalled Windows 11 on this machine. I did a wipe and clean install. Matter of fact, what I had to do was I had to take the M.2 drive out of this thing and use my plug-in USB 3 to NVMe adapter on the Plexi over there. And I did a clean install Windows 11 Home 22H2 on that thing. That's the Windows 11 test rig. Did an offline installation, and once it got to the OOBE, I shut it down, pulled the SSD out, a little 2.5 inch SSD, and used that to copy everything over to the M.2 drive, popped it back in this thing, and this thing was working like regular Windows 11. That was still connected to the internet. Once it got connected to the internet and activated, it locked itself down into S mode. So yeah, just FYI, when you reinstall that, when you reinstall Windows, you're basically out of jail free until you connect to the internet, and then it will pop you right back into S mode. So the S mode, it's like it's hard to say if it's tied to the activation itself or if it's tied to, it's definitely part of the motherboard's key or whatever. And what's interesting is, I'm not going to do it here, but I've heard that if you install Windows 11 Pro clean on something like this, even though Microsoft claims that there's no such thing as Windows 11 Pro in S mode, well, lo and behold, people are finding that there apparently is a such thing as Windows 11 Pro in S mode. So it's almost like as if Microsoft has gone so far to they've gone so far as to patch any loophole to get around exiting IT mode without using your Microsoft account. It's like, like for example, this thing, when I did a clean install, I had all the options to, for example, change the product key or upgrade to Pro. But once I connected to the internet, bam, S mode, lockdown. Windows 11 Home and IT mode. So to actually get out of S mode, what you have to do, technically by Microsoft, is you have to open the store. And if you signed in with the Microsoft account, that's all great. You can just simply get right out. So for example, if I press Get to get this app to switch out of S mode, it wants a Microsoft account. Okay, I should note that this is actually free. It does not cost you to switch out of S mode. Now, it used to be when it was just Windows 10 S, they did charge a $50 fee to upgrade from Windows 10 S to Windows 10 Home, but ever since they switched over to Windows 10 Home in S mode and Windows 11 Home in S mode, it does not cost you to get out, but still the fact that you must sign in with a Microsoft account to do this is just blatantly ridiculous. Okay, so before I do any of that, let's just go through the process of showing you the supposed workaround. So what you would do is you would go into the Start menu and go to Restart, but first press and hold Shift, click Restart, and this will get you into your advanced startup options. Go to Troubleshoot, Advanced Options, Command Prompt. And if the account has a sign-in, you will need to enter the password to get in. but we're in now, so we'll go ahead and run regedit, and it's already as administrator. So we're now in the registry editor, but the thing is, we are actually in the registry of the recovery environment and not the actual installation of Windows. So if we go to File, well, first we need to actually click on HK Local Machine. Then we go to Load Hive. And if we go to this PC, you will see that it's currently in boot X, which is the recovery environment. So we need to go to Local Disk C, Windows, System 32, Config, and we need to select System. And we'll just call it Windows or whatever. Alright, so we expand, you see we have Windows. Now we'll go in, open Control Set 001. Open up Control CI Policy. So the thing is, the workaround that's out there on YouTube by several different channels, the most recent workaround is to set this SKU policy required DWORD value from 1 to 0, but you can see it's already set to 0. So that is apparently patched. That's apparently patched to my understanding here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to try is to turn off Secure Boot on this thing. Now, supposedly that would only work on 21H2, but I'm willing to just give it a try anyway, just to see what happens. So what we're going to do is, like before, go to Restart, press and hold Shift, click Restart. Go to Troubleshoot, Advanced Options, and we'll go to UEFI Firmware Settings and hit Restart, and this will get us into the BIOS SEP utility. Okay, so here we are in the UEFI BIOS SEP utility. It's the first time I've ever seen this new of a Dell BIOS, which is a little different than what I've been used to. Of course, it wouldn't be complete with without a very finicky trackpad. So you can see the specs on our system. It gives you a lot of information there, which is pretty cool. Alright, let's see here. Enable Secure Boot. So let's turn that off. It's going to ask us, so we want to turn it off. We'll select yes. So I'm going to say the computer itself is really not that bad. As a matter of fact, I just did a video last night looking at the internals of this thing. It's actually not a bad little system. But anyway, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and apply these changes. And we'll select OK. And we'll exit. And this will boot back into Windows. Now, the crazy thing to note is, with Secure Boot turned off, this system theoretically will no longer meet the Microsoft Elite class Windows system requirements for Windows 11. Okay, so we have Secure Boot turned off. And voila, we have turned off S mode, guys. So that's how we do it. Dang, I'm glad I figured that out. So yeah, guys, apparently that was the trick. It's weird because there's conflicting information out there. Some people are saying that turning off Secure Boot does not work on Windows 11 22H2. Apparently it does. That was the case for me, at least. So that is, I guess, a way that you can deal with this. If you get a laptop in for service that has Secure Boot turned off, even if it is Windows 11 22H2, all you gotta do, go into the SEP utility, turn off Secure Boot. So anyways, now I'm going to finish setting this thing up and install my typical software like OpenShell, Google Chrome, all that good stuff. You know, the stuff that would take, more or less the stuff that would help make it easier for a 70-plus-year-old man to use his computer. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video from Kuku channel. If this is your first time, please subscribe to the channel and be sure to tick the bell so we get notified of new video posts. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, leave a comment, and share this video as well as the channel with your friends and get the word out. Also, I have a second channel, that's CubeComp MTDX. Over there you'll find videos about thunderstorms and weather, cycling, and videos about me personally. Feel free to subscribe over there as well if you like. Again, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for your support.